Hello everyone, it is the Prophet Michael David, aka Aries, and today is my 99th video, and that is because this upcoming Wednesday is going to be my 100th video. I will explain. Alright, this upcoming Wednesday is February 28th, 2024, and the video is going to be named Yosef, eldest son of Rachel. And the reason why it's going to be on that date is because it is going to be exactly what would have been my parents' 48th wedding anniversary. And they were married in 1976, which means it's also the date in which 24 years were before the millennium and 24 years after. It's a very Emmett thing. It is also the 3-year anniversary from when I became a prophet, kind of. Technically, I found God on day 5. I've described it before. But February 28th through April 5th is always the most prophetic, intense time for me. I can already feel it starting right now. And so that's why I said before. I'm going to post that video on Wednesday for sure and basically go from kind of summarizing all my most popular videos, about the tribe of Joseph and Judah. Actually, we're going to start at the Garden of Eden and go all the way through the whole thing, or at least I'm going to try to. And I'm going to get my hair cut and I'm going to shave and I'll be dressed very nicely. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing February 28th through April 5th of this year. And it's not 36 days, it's 37 days because it's a leap year, one extra day for God to roll me over. But the rest of this video is going to be easy peasy for me. I'm just going to talk to you about what's on my mind and what I've been working on and what I foresee I will be doing. All right, firstly, from what you would call a religious perspective, I'm sure I'm going to be doing some reading. And by that, I mean from my Bible and my Quran. And yeah, I do read them. Otherwise, I wouldn't comment on them as I do. But I only really read, except for a few exceptions, on the stuff that I've actually read. So I'm still on the intro to the Quran. It has a very extensive intro. And actually, there was part of it that was mathematical, which is probably what got me back into the mathematics in the first place. It ebbs and flows. That's just how it goes. But the holy books aren't the only thing that I ever read. And I always have a bathroom book. I've never been a magazine guy, but the one I've been reading, that I've read before, but I'm rereading again. I've talked about it before, Black Hole War by Leonard Susskind. It sounds like a sci-fi novel, but it isn't. It's just about a dispute about the natures of black holes and whether they destroyed information or not. On one side was Stephen Hawking, who is now dead, and on the other side was the author Leonard Susskind and this other gentleman named Gerard de Hooft. And that book has only been reinforcing my mathematical mantra about how magnitude lines mean very little and information is portrayed with area. Area is information. And it has a lot to do with that book and everything. But it also got me thinking about the non Euclidean portion of our universe. Okay, what do I mean by that? All right, Euclidean Geometry 101, whether it's lines or area or volume, lines are perfectly straight and always parallel or perpendicular. The angles of a triangle always add up to 180, and there is no curvature to it, as opposed to non-Euclidean geometry. And I've showed you guys this before in another video, but the thing I wanted to point out about it was it's spiraled because there's an offset at the very beginning where you have to connect it. That's what gives it a spiral to it. And it's, like I said, this kind of represents a universe. In a lot of ways, I think of them that way. It also kind of represents a black hole because it's curved in a way, but all the information is on the outside. And so that's how our universe is. at least a 4-dimensional, and it has a non-Euclidean aspect. That's why whenever you see the James Webb Telescope and they're talking about dark matter and how it curves light in a way they can't describe, that's what that is. Which brings me to my current work on primes. So I adopted a very old idea that I'd come up with, one of my very first, about the relationship between not the primes, but the squares of the primes and the composite number in between. So for instance, in between 5 squared, which is 25, 7 squared, which is 49, and then 5 times 7, which is 35, which has to be in between them. And lately, I've been doing more algebra. I could have scanned this, but about this very nature. And as you can see, when I'm in the zone, my handwriting is very good, and I don't make a whole lot of mistakes, but I do make some. And like I was doing this last night, and I found I made a mistake, found my error, crossed the stuff out. I don't scribble stuff out because, you know, even your failures, there can be some information in them or helpful someday. You just never know. But from there, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use the nature of those prime squares to their composites to generate an algorithm that where you can predict future primes, not on just the previous prime before that, but maybe you can gather information from all the primes, like a summation. All right, this is definitely going to be a short video because I don't have that much more to talk about. But what I did want to do was, instead of just showing you algebra and stuff, because not everybody deals well with algebra, I also do a lot of work by hand. I don't really use drawing programs. I use spreadsheets and everything. But even with spreadsheets or drawing programs, there's just some stuff that you can't really draw on it very easily or as well as you can do it by hand, or at least not me. So I'm going to show you that algebra with which I just showed you, what it manifests itself into when you actually draw it out on paper. All right, firstly, this is basically what it manifests itself into. That's the prime squares as they relate to the composites in between. And as you can see, they zigzag back and forth across that line. And in doing so, they form perfect 45 by 45 triangles, which means the hypotenuse is always the square root of 2 times the length of one of the legs. And this one is kind of just a scaled out version of where that last one left off. This one took me a while to create. But as you can see, the pattern persists on and on and on and on, just gets a little bit more differentiated and more erratic. And but there are certain points where it does have not anomalies, where it does do stuff where you don't think it would, where things zero out, which reminds me a lot of the Riemann zeta zeros. All right, in conclusion, I'm going to sign off here, but after I sign off, I'm going to drop 6 screenshots of, you know, just the spreadsheet stuff that I've been working on, like yesterday, today, and tomorrow, because I assume some people like the screenshots of all the graphs and everything, even if they don't understand them and everything. So in that light, rule number 1, as always, do not touch other people without their consent, aka do not hurt each other. And rule number 2, it's all about honesty. Lies are ticked down. All right, y'all have a good day. I will talk to you on Wednesday.